heard a big bang and our garage door shook. We had no idea what was going on, and then my tenant reached out to me and said there's a huge explosion, all the windows are knocked out.
Breaking tonight, a contractor strikes a gas line in Twinsburg Township, and minutes later, an explosion tears through a neighborhood. 3 homes destroyed, more than 20 damaged, and at least 2 people injured. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell. We have team coverage from the scene this evening. CNN New Yorker spoke with residents who say they're still shaken up by the blast. But we begin with my 3 News at 11 partner, Lena Lai, who has the latest. Lena, good evening.
Good evening, Russ. We are just off of Hiram Lane in Twinsburg Township, where you can still smell the strong, pungent odor of smoke and burning materials. Behind me, about 100 yards down this street, is where the scene is. Firefighters are keeping us away from the scene as they continue to monitor the hot spots and put out any residual flames. 2 people injured, no fatalities, and perhaps the amazing part is that the people who owned the home that initially exploded weren't there at the time.
Smelled gas. They called the gas company. They told us to shelter in place. We stayed inside, and then probably 15-20 minutes later, just boom.
It happened on Hiram Lane in the Woodlands neighborhood. A frantic afternoon that began as a gas leak and ended with a home blown apart.
We did transport one person that was injured from the explosion. There was a second person transported for other reasons. From there have been no confirmations on any fatalities.
Fire officials say workers struck a gas line. With no wind to carry it off, the gas settled into the streets and crews ordered everyone out.
The explosion ruptured the line, which then made firefighting more difficult.
That blast set 2 neighboring houses on fire. All 3 are a total loss. 12 more homes on Hiram suffered severe damage, and 8 others over the Hudson line on Fairway Boulevard were hit too.
Glass was flying all around, and the front door had blown in. All the front windows were blown in. Some of the inside doors have blown off their hinges.
Tonight, the fires are under control. The gas has been shut off. Investigators say the suspected cause now in focus, potentially a fiber optic contractor believed to have struck the line. As residents impacted gather a few belongings to find a place to stay, they're thankful for what they do have and shudder to think what could have been.
I mean, they would normally be there, like they were out of town.
They were saying, they're normally there at the table eating dinner at that time, so very lucky.
Okay. Back out here live, you see that one marker marking the gas lines as the company Kinetic was doing work in this neighborhood. As you can see right now, crews from Ohio Edison are leaving the area right now as they're wrapping up their work here. Residents are right now, because there's no power in this neighborhood, residents have had to find another place to stay. My colleague, CNN New Yorker, was here on the scene shortly after the explosion. She has been talking to residents all night long. Sia, what are they saying tonight?
Yes, good evening, Lena. All of the residents I spoke to were shaken. Some of them felt and heard that explosion, and they told me it rocked them to their core.
Around 5:15 Thursday afternoon, first responders were called to Hiram Lane in the Woodlands neighborhood of Twinsburg Township for reports of a house explosion. Neighbors told me they felt and heard the boom.
And my wife was at home at the time, and she called me panicking, and she said house exploded, and I guess it knocked her off her feet.
And like their neighbors, they spent significant time trying to get answers from police and check on their loved ones despite the road closures.
It shook up the entire neighborhood, and it's just a sad thing to happen. But I'm glad there was, as far as we know, no loss of life.
But police say there are injuries and a lot of damage. 3 News cameras rolling as people gathered some of their belongings as police monitored the area. More than 20 homes were impacted, and Twinsburg police say crews are still assessing. At least 12 houses on Hiram were severely damaged. Christopher Hama tells me he owns one of those homes.
So there was a fire coming up through the water line because the toilet exploded. The garage doors caved in, and the front door is also caved in. So this is 2142 Hiram Lane.
So this is one of the destroyed houses, the three.
One of the destroyed houses that got nailed. Yeah,
what are you going to do?
I'm just happy the tenants were all okay.
Many people, again, telling me tonight they're very thankful that there were, minimal and no fatalities. And police telling us they're asking for everyone's patience as they continue to assess the damage. They say that crews will be here throughout the night in case of hotspots. Russ?
Okay, see you, New Yorker and Lena Lai in Twinsburg Township tonight. Thank you so much. And of course, we'll continue to follow this breaking story on air and online. For the latest updates, download the free WKYC app on your smartphone and TV.